Hello. Before we start today's episode, if you would like a condensed version of what I'm talking about in this podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the Perfectionist Guide. You can read the entire thing in 3 minutes or less. To access this, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/newsletter. Are you a bit of a perfectionist? Type A, hyper performer? Then you know
what it is like when your perfectionism is a constant god-awful companion.
But it doesn't have to be. If you are ready to burn bright instead of burning out, to lead without losing yourself, and to enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create, then keep listening. I'm your host, America's leader on rewiring perfectionism, CLG, and this is Perfectionism Rewired, the podcast. Welcome to Perfectionism Rewired.
Today we are talking about how your health insurance can cover your perfectionism coaching. In the last episode, I talked to you all about how to fail-proof your perfectionism, and that is getting clear on your whys and your reasons for why you want to rewire your perfectionism. One of my whys that I shared with you is my mission that every perfectionist knows they have the power within them to quit fighting against themselves, that they get back in the driver's seat of their Ferrari drive and to really feel as amazing as their life looks. And that is not lip service. It's the truth. And for the past couple of months or so, I have really been contemplating that mission and what is it that I can do for all of you? One thing that I did when I met with my chief operations officer, we went through everything and I drastically lowered my coaching fees. Those prices are now effective today if you go on my website. I also brought you the starter session. So if long-term coaching is out of your budget right now, that you are able to experience neuroplasticity and to get help and support from someone that is, I don't know anyone else that is offering what I offer, not in terms of the Perfect Start neuroplasticity session, but really an empowered take on perfectionism that goes to the root. Instead of, traditional methods, what they do is they take away your perfectionism, but then it leaves you with all of the problems that you're perfecting over, which isn't helpful. And so when you get to the root, it takes away your need to use perfectionism as a coping mechanism. And instead, you can just use perfectionism, your perfectionistic powers, as I like to call them, when you want to. Then throughout this whole time, I've really thought, okay, well, what can I do on my end? What else can I do, right? Like that perfectionist in me. And so I'm thrilled to share with all of you, if you have a flexible spending account, an FSA, or a health savings account, an HSA, or a health reimbursement account, then those provide the opportunity for you to pay for qualified medical expenses. All of the services that I offer are eligible. They fall under the qualified medical expense category of health and wellness coaching and assessments. How is this possible? Well, health and wellness coaching services are a qualified medical expense. This was news to me. This is why I'm doing a whole podcast episode about it. I have a very robust page on my website that I will put a link to that has all of this for you, along with a guide that I made for you that you can bring to your physician or doctor. So let's say your other question might be, can I get reimbursed through my health insurance? So the way that things are coded in health insurance is there's something called CPT codes. These are given out and approved by the American Medical Association, the AMA. So the American Medical Association approved 3 CPT codes for health and wellness coaching, which is what Perfectionist Solutions, that's my company, what we offer, falls under. They are approved And you also might even be eligible for reimbursement. With one of my coaches, I was able to get reimbursed, not for the entire amount, but I was able to get reimbursed for a lot of it and use my pre-tax dollars, which almost made it free in order for you to get this to work for you. Checking with your health insurance or your HSA, FSA person to find out, like, hey, if I want to use health and wellness coaching, it's covered under FSA, HSA. Like if there's any sort of like pre-approvals that you need to go through, what they might require from you is a letter of medical necessity from your doctor. I was like, okay, all this information's great, but how could I go back to that mission and that why of my perfectionism, which is like making it so that I am able to coach every perfectionist that wants to quit fighting against their perfectionism forever and to feel as amazing as their life looks. So what I did is that I put together for you a fill-in-the-blank packet that you can take to your doctor or physician or provider with a fill-in-the-blank that has a 100% success rate with being approved by insurance companies so that you can get your money back and take full advantage of, if you pay for health insurance, you might as well be able to use it. It makes it so it's very easy for your doctor or physician to just put in what current medical condition you have that they are saying health and wellness coaching would be beneficial for the treatment of your condition. A question that I get from a lot of you before you start is like, hey, I have anxiety or I have ADHD or I have depression or I have OCD. Will this coaching work for me? So like, you already have these things. Like what I am not recommending you do is to go and get a diagnosis so that you are able to then catch a break financially for coaching. But what I found that was super interesting is that like if you have obesity, if you have ADHD, if you have exhaustion or fatigue, burnout and stress isn't necessarily a diagnosis, but exhaustion and fatigue are. If you have anxiety, if you have impaired executive functioning, I think most adults have. That has to do with time management, your ability to start tasks, your ability to finish tasks, your emotional regulation, the way that you handle stress, your metacognition, the way that you speak to yourself, with your ability to make mistakes and to continue progressing forward. It has to do with your impulse control. All of that has to do with executive functioning. So if any of those areas are impaired, then it is very likely that you have impaired executive functioning. All of this information is available to you on my website. If you go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com, and if you look under the resources section, it's right there in the menu. There's a link in the show notes that will take you right there. And when you are on the page, what I also included for you, because I was like, how can I make this even easier, is that there is language for your physician, for your doctor, for your provider that talks about what Perfectionist Solution offers in medically friendly terms, medically approved terms. So if you're on this page and you're like, why is like the definition that's on here is that like Perfectionist Solutions empowers individuals to take ownership, leadership, and accountability of their well-being using self-directed neuroplasticity and non-directive, empathetic, and mindful conversations that employ motivational interviewing and evidence-based approaches. Most humans would be like, what the fuck? But for a doctor or a physician or for an insurance provider, this tells them exactly what they need to hear so that you can get that stamp of approval. All of that is there for you. I am just so thrilled to see how many more people this can help to quit fighting against your perfectionism for good, and that you are no longer crippled by perfectionism anymore, because I understand what it is like when your perfectionism is more like a constant god-awful companion. And that is why I have all of these for you. Like the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator is a 6-week fast track. So if you were to start now, then before Christmas time, you will have the tools to interrupt your perfectionistic habits that are currently holding you hostage. So if you want that fast track, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/services. I will also drop a link for that in the show notes. Here's to more perfectionist rewiring and becoming empowered.